got it. Let's get some hand claps.
There it is.
Can we get a hand clap?
Uh-huh.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It show. I'm Black Ops.
Hey, this is Wonder.
And it's Mr. Get Out Your Feelings, Dean Geronimo. Call us at 646-233-1302 and let's talk about it.
I've been gone for a while, so apparently we've gotten comfortable. And I see,
Yes, sir.
Remember in the beginning it was, I used to be the six-man Dean Geronimo. well, welcome, Dean Geronimo.
Yes, sir. I'm
man,
here,
I guess I
baby.
got to
What's
build on
going
Black Ops, huh? Something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
gotta build on it, man.
All right. Well, anyway, we got an exciting show, a lot to talk about. Today, a lot going on in the world. The Mueller report. We're going to talk about. What else are we talking about today?
Everything is not a conspiracy.
That's
dog.
right. That's right. Where's my volume at? Okay. Well, we there? We good? All
Yeah,
right.
we good.
All right. Okay. Hey, we got the super producer over there. Can we give it up for super
Yeah,
producer?
no doubt.
Good
No
to see
doubt.
you. She's been a little under the weather, but
Uh-huh.
she's back. Kickball heading on. That's all right. I see you bouncing that out. That's all good. Can't do nothing but sit there, right? So, Wonder, what's good, man? What's going on,
man? I'm here, brother. I'm just I'm running on fumes right now.
Are
man.
you?
I was just telling super producer Maria, the new gig, they
Yeah.
got me running, got me
Yeah.
ripping and running. So, kind of burning the candle on both ends, man.
Yeah.
But
I told like
I'm here, brother.
like we were talking before the show a little bit too. Like the IT guys, man, y'all like the y'all a hidden gem,
worry
but
you
like
to death. Salute
right. But
to
to find
all of
them,
y'all,
you
man.
put in a trouble ticket. Like when they walk into your office, you like, damn, they made it. They do exist,
yeah, man. Yeah.
But and when we see you like in the halls or something like that, we're walking, it's like
we
like,
trying to get out of
yeah,
there.
heads
Scrambling.
always down.
Scrambling.
Right. I'll be like, hey, what's good, one? You be like,
Russian, right?
nothing.
Scrambling.
Nothing. Leave me
Scrambling.
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like some of the issues, though, are they really like that bad? Or again, is it?
Yeah, they are because people are lazy. They don't want to think. They
Right.
figure it's your job to do that part of the thinking for me.
Right.
So if they yank out a power cord and the computer goes black,
Right.
instead of investigating,
It's
they
broke.
they
Can you
start
fix it?
panicking and
You're probably gonna laugh at me here, right? So I have a new desktop, with the. I don't have the time. I have the flat thing, right, with the screen, but I can't get my volume to play. Right, I've tried everything. I don't want to call IT because I don't want to get laughed at. Like, all you had to do was hit this button right here. So I've hit every button, like click everything, and try to install. I don't have no damn volume on
you
my.
have external speakers.
No, it's the I guess the one that comes through the computer. See that look that you
so
give me
maybe-
right there?
Now I'm saying you might want to try it out, get some external speakers or get
Right.
some headphones
Some headphones.
and see how it is. But sometimes, sometimes it depends. Like if your company or whoever you work for, they can have policies placed on certain things.
Oh, is that right?
Limit or just block it out completely where you can't
Right.
use certain things.
Right, so I can't play Fight the Power in the office. Is that?
I don't think you want to
that's
do
what
that,
you're
Got to do that
Yeah.
on your phone,
Yeah,
Jack.
that'll be in the headphones.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. They'll be like,
Yeah.
Mr.
Now, but get
Hobbs.
some external speakers or some headphones just to make
Right.
sure that you do have volume.
Right. I'm gonna
You know.
FaceTime you.
It's
Listen.
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
As much as I'm involved, my job consists of IT. But when I get here, I dummy up, man, because like my brain is just completely shut off. So I kind of know what other people go through when they see me. They're like, all right,
Yeah.
good, he's here. Do this and do that.
Right.
'Cause that's how I be looking at you, super producer.
Like, listen, because where I'm at, like for the IT, the door is always locked. Like you got to know the Masonic secret handshake not to get
Yeah.
in there for them to like crack the door and be like, "Did you do a trouble ticket?"
Well, you know what? the practice now in most places is even IT could be sitting right across from you. You could see that person, but they want you to open a ticket.
Oh my God!
And the reason why they want you to open a ticket is because he may be over there, but he might be working on something else.
Yeah.
Like especially if
Right.
they use remote sessions.
Yeah.
He could be working with a CEO, and then somebody busts in his office for something that might be
Well,
trivial
damn it.
compared to what he's doing.
I
you
am
know
the
what I'm
boss, so like,
Oh well.
Oh, well.
Well,
You know what I
priority
mean?
does.
am I-
Priority
yeah.
is the rule of
he
the
probably
day.
look at me. He's like, "Not here, buddy." Right?
No, priority is the rule of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, I'm going to FaceTime you, Wonder. Don't laugh at me either because I'm going to talk about you on the show.
Okay, no,
I'm
that's
like,
cool, man.
Wonder laughed at me. I just wanted my thing. I got the
Yeah,
external.
Get at me. We'll work it out.
all
We'll figure
right.
it out.
Right? I'm gonna see. It's
Wow.
like it's gonna be like $300 something for that. I'm like, damn, dude, you just got my speakers hooked up with that. And you race out of them, and might have to whip out. I know what's going. But other than that, though, good to see you, man.
Good
Did
to
we
see
talk
you, man.
about? And I know football season is not technically here, so let's just talk trades real quick. Because I don't believe I got your thoughts on this. What the hell were the Giants thinking about? I just, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I was talking to somebody about that, and they kind of took the words out of my mouth. They said that the Giants they saw something
Right.
that probably worked in their benefit, maybe in the bigger picture.
Do you
that
think
we
he's
don't
hurt
see.
more than he lets on?
I don't know if he's hurt. I just think the deal. I think there might be. I mean, have they went public with what the full deal is with trading him? Because I think they see something
Right.
that they feel they can build up, maybe get more bang
Right.
for their buck with him. I mean,
But listen, when
that's my assumption.
when you're Odell, all world, 2-finger catch, the whole nine, and you get sent to the Cleveland Browns.
that's
what
why I
Cleveland
said-
Browns,
That's
dog.
why I said the Giants must see. They must have saw something
Right.
where they said, you know what, this is a sweet deal. And as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I was listening to ESPN, and one of the representatives for the Giants, by and large, said that. I mean, not in those exact words,
Right.
but they said that it was a deal they couldn't refuse. So who knows, man?
Yeah, it'll come out in a few years, right?
Who knows,
Devil's
yeah.
in the detail.
Yeah.
It's all good. What's
But,
going?
hey, good for the Cleveland Browns, right?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm actually kind of, I won't say nervous, but I'm just like, hey, you know, they might got that superpower or something. I don't know. But what's going on? Wait, can I get the whole name one more time?
Oh, it's Mr. Get Out Your Feelings, Dean Geronimo.
Get out
That's
your feelings,
Mr. Get Out Your
Dean
Feelings.
I've
That's
seen
what
your
it is,
Facebook
bro.
post, so I hear you.
You know how it is.
What's going on, bro?
You know what? It's another day. Ain't nothing new, but I'd rather be seen than viewed, dog. So it's always a good day. You know what I mean?
How's life down in South Jersey? Good.
Yeah, right now until it's time to pay them taxes.
No worries.
You know, but you know how they do.
Right.
We'll get there.
All
We'll
right.
get there.
Anything else coming up on the home front?
Not really. I'm gonna give a quick shout out though.
Okay.
That's to my cousin G Brown. She runs the Sweet Tea with G series. She's watching right now. Salute to my cousin.
All right. Big up to the cuz. Listen, so we're going to jump into the Let's Keep It Real moment with Block Ops real quick here. There's some things I want to talk about. Actually, it's just one. I don't know, the lines might blow up 646-233-1302. But in this, I got to say, I am so glad that Duke got knocked out.
I heard.
I am so
I haven't been following
glad.
it, but I heard.
Listen, and I am a Tar Heel fan, right? That is my squad. I'll roll with them. I'm not going to say I'm glad they're out, but it's good to see other teams finally in the Final Four besides Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, Louisville. You know, you have one overall number one remaining in Virginia, right? But I think 408 number.
Oh, it's coming now.
408, you on? Let's talk about it. Say your name. Where you calling from?
Yo, hello, how you doing?
All right, what's up?
Yo, I'm from the streets of Oakland, you know?
Uh-huh.
All right.
What's up, Oakland? What do you want to say?
No, I'm from the streets of Oakland.
Okay. What's up?
Well, so what's up, how you doing? What's the discussion about?
Right now,
Oh,
we're just
okay.
into the individual sections. I'm talking about Duke not being in the Final Four for once in like God knows how many years, just to see better teams. Well, I shouldn't say better teams, but different teams out there besides the status quo. That's all. But we're going to talk about the Mueller report, a little potpourri, what's going on out there, conspiracy theories, things of that nature. Would you like to add to the show?
I mean, yeah, man, that Mueller report, you know, kind of debunked the liberal media pretty hardcore, am I right?
Yeah, it is. Your thoughts
A
on
little
it?
bit too hardcore.
Why is that?
I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's the same way, like, when they try to say, oh, Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and they didn't. It's the same thing here.
Right. So you think the report was pretty accurate?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Zero argument for me. I think. Well, let me ask you this: do you feel the report should be fully disclosed to the American people?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What's that?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I said, do you feel the Mueller report should be disclosed in its entirety to the American people?
I feel like most of it should, but if there's some really top secret stuff that affect national security, no.
That'll affect national security coming out of the Mueller report?
Well, I mean, everything that we should know that doesn't affect national security, we should know.
Oh, okay. Now, have you, right. Now, let me ask you, have you served in the military?
Not in America, sir.
Where at?
Siberia.
Wow.
Siberia. So, as in the Russian forces?
Okay, not exactly. It's a little bit complicated. Well, because the country I'm from, they have like this thing with Russia where like you train in Siberia, so not exactly Russian.
Right. And what country are you from?
The Republic of Iran.
Okay.
The Republic of Iran. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Iran, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem there. All right. So,
Hey, listen, I had a question for you.
Mhm.
You said you're from the streets of Oakland?
Well, I moved.
Oh, okay. I wanted you to be a little specific when you said the streets of Oakland. I didn't know exactly, what you meant.
In California.
Yeah, I know where it's at. I know what state it's at. But when you said the streets of Oakland, I just wanted you to be a little more specific with that. But okay, all right.
Well,
go ahead. We're listening.
Yeah, we're listening.
so you want me to talk more about the Mueller report?
Yeah, you can.
I just, from the beginning, I saw no evidence, and I wasn't really that shocked when I saw this, so I'm surprised people still trust the media.
Right. Well, and again, this is. Go ahead.
I just find it kind of hypocritical that America messes with other countries' foreign elections all the time. And then, they're like, oh, it's happening to us. Of course it's not going to happen. It'd be impossible for it to happen to this country. And that goes to show, Trump's been the hardest on Russia out of any president, so, I wasn't that shocked.
Well, it can be argued or debated here. I'll go back to your original position of the Mueller report and that it disclosed what it should have. And I'll just say this. Again, it should be put out in its entirety so that the American conscience can really weigh that out. That's everybody. Republican, Democrats, Independent. I think it's assumed that, and if you take our panel here and you see our faces, that there's a given position that's going to be, given out. But for me, it's been handed out as far as the report and the findings in part. I would just like to see it in its entirety. If they cleared them of collusion and there's none in there, then they cleared them of collusion. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. However, if there are other things in there because they didn't clear them of corruption charges, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat or an Independent, the American people as a whole should have the right to see that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, again, like I said, everything that should be revealed, but some things in a report cannot always be disclosed because of national security reasons. It's not always black and white,
Right. Listen, I've done, I'm a retired military officer, and I completely understand classified, confidential, top secret, etc. And things that...
back in Siberia, this was very important.
Yeah, and here in the United States, our nation's secrets are just as important. However, Congress...
Oh, of course.
Right. Our elected officials who speak as the voice of the people should have the right to look at that report in its entirety. And then any declassified portions that can be released in its entirety should. That's my argument.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It'll happen over time. It's going to happen.
Right. So, again, if it clears President Trump of collusion, then it cleared him of collusion. If he was found
So what
guilty,
is your position of Trump?
my personal opinion of Trump, I'm looking again.
Well, hang on. Before we answer, what's
your position?
right.
What's your position of Trump?
Well, here's the thing, man. It's been really hard to try and train in Siberia because of the whole sanctions things, and now we can't train there because we can't get arms there. It's been pretty hard over there. So, the time I did live in Russia, it made it a lot harder. So, yeah, I don't really like what he did. I'm kind of forced to move here because of that.
Forced to live in the United States.
I don't have a choice. It's getting really, the sanctions and the arming of Ukrainian troops is really screwing stuff over there, man.
Right.
So, for America, oh yeah, he's amazing probably, but for us back in Siberia, it's not too good.
Right. Well, so then you're a pro-Trump supporter, if I'm understanding you.
No.
Oh.
I'd rather live back there. I'm saying for Americans, I bet he's great.
For a population, for a given base, that argument may hold true, but I think there's quite a few others who may disagree with that position here.
Yeah, I'm just saying for my country, it's not working out too well.
Right. Russia? Right now, Russia...
Well, let me know. That's not my country from Iran. All the sanctions,
for Iran,
to drink us over. I'm just training in Siberia.
Yeah, I understand.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, we do appreciate the commentary and the call. Anything else you'd like to add before we end the call?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
It's really cold in Siberia.
Yeah. I've been to Russia. I've been there.
It's cold there, man.
And I've spent time there. So I've been to Moscow. So I understand. I've been to Red Square. I've been there. Trust me. All right. Take care.
Appreciate you.
All right. Getting back to, and a lot of people at times they'll see, they'll look at me and they're like, oh, you've been to Russia. Yeah. A part of the U.S. envoy. Right. And negotiated numbers on behalf of this country.
Right.
Right. So again, the assumptions, but we do appreciate the call.
Yeah.
That was a solid call. With that, what was I at? We were Duke, right? Getting
the
back
Final
to
Four.
the Final Four.
Well, that took a turn, didn't it?
Yeah,
It did.
yeah.
But no,
yeah.
it was a good.
We took a little turn, but we're back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good.
But anyway, like I said, it's good to see the little guy, the underdog, prevail sometimes. So I don't know who I'm pulling for at this point.
What is it? Michigan State and who?
Michigan, and Texas Tech and Virginia.
Texas Tech, Auburn, Virginia, and
or Texas State.
No, Texas Tech.
Is
bro.
it Texas?
Yeah,
Sure?
Texas Tech.
I think a lot of people have Michigan State to take it.
Yeah.
They said they're pretty strong. I haven't been following it
Michigan State, and I said it earlier. My son played ball in college, so
who's he going for?
Right now, Michigan State.
Okay.
And
Hey, we're back.
669, you're on. Let's talk about it. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hello, I'm from West Bengal.
What's what?
Bengal?
Bengal.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Bengal. Tell us what you like to talk about.
I would like to talk about Indian relationship with Pakistan.
All right, let's talk about it. They don't get along. They just had the missile test. I know it's oil and water. Let's talk about it.
These goddamn Hindus coming in bombing Pakistan, and I do not like it. It's very annoying,
Right. Well, I hear you, but this probably isn't the platform to voice that on. Here.
I can give you tech support if you would like.
All right.
Yeah, we need that.
Listen, we did just talk about that.
Oh, my.
Listen, my speakers,
My man.
or my sound isn't coming through my computer, but I'm not going to stereotype anyone. And what I'm going to go with you. So I'm going to FaceTime you, although I think you're talented, whoever you are on this line. I'm going to go with Wonder on that one here. Thank you for your call. You gotta love it. Right?
Yo, they're calling from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well, could it be one person just changing his voice?
It is. I
But you know what? When you change your voice, stay on topic for us for 1 second.
That's all.
For
That's
1
all
second. We
ask.
talk
Stay
about the
on
Final
topic.
Four right now.
Yeah, stay on topic. You call in as many times as you want.
We
No,
gonna
and it's
talk
funny.
about it. You can
Yeah.
call in on a different number, but let's just talk about the Final Four for 1 second. We still got to get to some other stuff.
Right, but he actually had a point with
He
that.
did.
I
He
thought
did.
he was going in because there were tests, and then he went off, and I was like, all right.
We'll
see
take
you
that tech support advice though later.
Yeah, I sure
For
will
real.
at all times. But no, that was for me. Let's keep it real. Like, I'm tired of seeing the same old cast of characters in the Final Four. The only thing I want to see on a basis like that, the Steelers in the Super Bowl and the Yankees in the World Series. That's every time. So, but anyway, that's the let's keep it real moment with Black Ops. Yeah, some calls in here. But what's good, Wonder? What you got for us?
Oh man, so let's see. I had something here. Oh, okay, all right. So, as we know, there's a lot of people running for the Democratic nomination, and there's O'Rourke. I think his name is O'Rourke.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was interesting. I found an article here where he's talking about, and I'm just waiting for this thing to load up, but he's talking about that he would be, if he's elected as president, that he would sign some type of a reparations bill or act into law.
Wait, we get money?
Well,
Oh.
I mean,
You know what?
we don't know how that'll look, what it'll look like.
Give me
but
800 credit, dog. Zero out everything I owe.
there you go.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And set my kids and my grandkids up for the life expectancy of what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And you pay off my house. I'm good.
There you go. Yeah, so, in this article, it says here, thus far, the list of Democratic candidates who could very well be our next president is lengthy. Bernie Sanders, it says, has returned from the grave to throw his name back into
From
the
the
hat.
grave,
You know,
dog.
Miss E was here. She'd stop you right there and
Yeah.
be like,
Wait a minute. Wait a
Well,
minute.
and I mean, and this is how they wrote it.
Right.
And Cory Booker has proven himself a viable candidate
Wow.
or not. And Kamala Harris has been spreading the gospel of truth, leadership, and optimism wherever she goes.
Right.
Okay. All right. This sounds a little biased, but I'm gonna keep reading it. And it says, but with the presidential race so crowded, these hopefuls have been pulling out all the stops to stand out from the crowd. And one such increasingly popular method of doing so is broaching the controversial topic that shouldn't be a controversial topic of reparations. And I mean, if you've been following, those who are throwing in their hats for the Democratic nominee, that topic has been coming up a lot.
Right.
People have been taking these these folks to task, and I have to be honest, as much, and I said this before, as much as I feel he's an idiot 80% of the time, Charlemagne the God really, he put it to some of the candidates that came in there, and he asked them, he said,
Right.
what are you going to do? Because as we know, there are demographic groups that ask about, what are you going to do for us?
Right.
And so he put the question about reparations. Now, I found it interesting when he put it to Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders said he didn't want to talk about it. And immediately,
He don't want that, man. He
And
just
tennis
wants your
winner.
vote so
Yeah,
he can
that's
be
it.
like the oldest
Yeah.
Yoda in the White House. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I would say reparations before the wall,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But where does the dialogue start? Meaning, where do you start at with reparations? How do you? Because listen, I'm in line. I'm pretty sure where I descended from. I know I'm part West Indies as well, but it's a great discussion to have. But where do you start? Where do you take the concrete look and say, that's where I'm going to pour the cement at, put the foundation to move forward? Like, where would that sit? Where do you? And then, if I can, what number would you put against that?
So there's and I think I mentioned his name a few times on different topics. He used to be in the Carter administration in the 70s. His name is Dr. Claude Anderson. And he has a comprehensive, you could YouTube him, Claude Anderson.
There's a whole lot.
He has a
of videos.
comprehensive answer to that question because you take a layman person like myself, what number do you put on that?
Right.
How do you? But the thing is that it's been done before for other groups. It's been done. The answer has been answered for them.
Right.
Ours is a little more unique because so much time has gone by, and no one can say that they have found themselves in the circumstances that we have. We are the only immigrants here that were here pretty much by and large by force. And then you have those who are already here. But Dr. Claude Anderson has a great comprehensive presentation in terms of what you do in bargaining for reparations. And so check them out. It's serious. It's detailed. It's layered.
Right.
Because you can't just give one answer. That's a loaded question, and
Right.
it deserves a answer loaded. Or response loaded with comprehensive answers.
Right. I would literally love to see how that would be rolled out. Like, what answer would you put against that? Like,
For me, stop taxing me. I'll take that as
Tax-free for
reparations.
life, dog.
Just let me be tax free.
right.
And I'm good. I'm good. Pay off my loans,
Yeah.
debts.
Treat me
Let
like
me
I
be
just came over
tax-free,
here, tax-free,
and I'm good money
for life.
for life.
Not just 7 years.
For
just
life.
For life.
What's your number? If you had to,
I wouldn't put a number on it because you
Just
know
give
what?
me the-
If
just
you
give me
give
the-
me my whole
Give me the
check
gross. Just give me the
every
whole
2
gross,
weeks.
not the net.
for the rest of my life,
Right.
hey, you know what I mean? We're good.
That is a beast, right?
Give me the gross. Give me that gross.
And I don't have to file taxes on it.
Right.
Yeah, we could. Because
I
I
know.
would go and get another full-time job.
Yep.
Just because.
Well, it is. Again, it could be said like your argument, other groups, etc. But it's the moment we voice, our position for that, it becomes like now
Complicated,
it's
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But hey, we like you said, it was about force, and we're here now. So
Yeah.
what you gonna do about it?
Right.
So, all right. What we got, Dean Geronimo?
You know what, man? First of all, rest in peace to Irv Myers Asghedom, better known as Nipsey Hussle, who unfortunately lost his life on March 31st by an individual who he knew. When it first came out, individuals were talking about all the extra stuff, and names started being thrown out because he was putting out the documentary about Dr. Sebi, and folks are saying it was a government conspiracy and everything and anything other than what it was. And when it came out, you come to find out that this individual who they arrested yesterday was the individual who shot him multiple times in front of a store in that whole shopping area that he owned. Went back to the hood to build it up. And at the same time, I guess in my opinion, you go back to do something good for other individuals, and there's always one or two that are more interested in pulling you back down than they are helping to lift you up.
You said it's funny because you changed your name. You said, what was it? Get out your feelings.
Mr. Get Out Your Feelings, dog.
Dean Geronimo. Sometimes people really get in their feelings, like hate and everything. We've talked about it on the show at least 2 or 3 times, but hate is a beast, man. Sometimes people really don't want to see you happy, or they'll say, why you and not me?
Right.
Or they'll say, I'll remember when. They'll think about something like in the 5th grade. In the 5th grade, I took his milk during lunch. Dude, that was the 5th grade. People grow up. Stop hating. Now, dude, 6'5", 230 pounds will rip your face off. But hate is a beast, and they'll take your life behind it.
We have arguments about some of the things that don't even have a lot to do with us. They argued about the Neverland thing with Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, I
I
saw
mean,
it.
the skin is sagging off his bones right now, and people are still arguing about that. The commentary about what just happened to Nipsey Hussle, the argument between individuals, because some of us said it's somebody that's right there, and other people said no, it's the government. So when I said there's no way, if you know certain things and you've been certain places, the first place you look is right there immediately around you. And those individuals like, oh, you don't want to change your opinion? I don't have to change my opinion. Let's wait. Since you know every fucking thing, let's wait.
Right.
And excuse my language, but like the same time, now it comes out and all of those people have magically disappeared. Why? Like you did all of that arguing, you were so strong in your belief that those of us who seen certain things and been around certain things understand certain things. And then you say, well, no, you ain't got to say it like that. Oh, now you in your feelings again. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck up. Like what we going to do as a people to start making better instead of, well, then again, everybody can't take the same route. So, when are the like-minded people going to leave the people who are stuck where they are and keep moving? Because at some point, we got to get past. Today is 51 years since Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated and set up by one in his circle.
Listen, and you can go back, and again, I'll introduce the Bible just a little bit because I try not to do that whole religion thing. Everybody has who they believe in. I don't know with that. But Jesus looked at Judas and was like, dude, here's something. I already know it's you. I hate her, right?
Telling you it's you.
It's you. Ain't nobody else.
Everybody else know your ass is a hater.
Right. And it is for the test of time.
Right.
From within. And listen, I have a lot of people who I call friends, right? But I know a lot of people. But that term, your friend, or as we were saying, our friend fighters, that is a small circle.
Yeah.
And everybody you start your journey with in the beginning, not going to be there.
Not going to be there at all.
In the end. Let me ask you, Wonder. When we came up together, you probably know just as many people as I do, if not more or less, give or take one or two, right? But how many of those people, think about high school and how we knew everybody. How many of those people right now you keep in contact with?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'd say about 5 to 7.
Right.
5 to 7.
So roughly over one hand. Right.
Right.
Exactly. That's
out of like
God knows
30
how many.
plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Out of like 30 plus. Yeah.
Right. And so for Nipsey to be killed from within his own circle, you and I can disagree, Wonder, but I'm not gonna want to kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You're a Cowboy fan. I like you. Right.
That was a settled death threat.
Wow.
Right there.
That was a jab. That was a jab right there.
But in a more serious context,
quick.
We should be able to agree,
right,
to disagree.
Sure.
Right.
Without it going there. And then if there's a physical altercation, this is on any platform. Because really, at my age, I'm going to look at you like, you want, fight? I'm like, I'm done with all that. But, winner wins, lose, we say now, we shot fair ones back in the day versus shot a gun.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Now somebody gets chipped up a little bit, they get in their feelings. Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
And then they're ready to go kill the individual. And for what?
Yeah. I have to take the other side of this so we can make it interesting. A report came out that the photographer of this was on, I forget what Associated Press it was on. This is from Atlanta. Okay.
770, you're on Let's Talk About It. State your name, where you calling from.
Monica G. Brown, Atlanta, Georgia.
What's up, cuz?
All right.
What's up, baby?
I ain't doing nothing, can't complain. I ain't making no noise. Like your brother said, hanging on like an old loose tooth. Yes, sir. That's how we do it, bro.
Boy, you from Virginia.
Yes, sir.
Miss Monica, how can we help you out tonight? What's up?
So I just wanted to kind of chime in on what you were actually speaking of with the Nipsey Hussle. And this is something, and talking about haters.
Yes.
We all have them.
Yes.
But regardless of what status that we actually reach, we all are admired by people, and then there are others that loathe.
Right.
It is, going back in time, like you said, from the Bible days,
right.
Who Judas was.
Right.
I really sometimes feel like once we are elevated, you sometimes have to move.
True.
Yes,
you have to move on. You have to help from afar.
Right.
Because, as Geronimo said, some people are not they're not like-minded anymore.
Right.
And therefore they don't understand what platform you're on now.
Right.
I'm no longer living in the hood. Just my mindset has changed.
Right.
But when you surround yourself with those people, then it is really difficult to have a camaraderie that is really going to be there that understands what you're doing. Yes, he was a hometown hero, but sometimes you got to be the hero and feed them with a long-handed spoon.
Yeah.
When we look at other professional athletes that have been in the same situation, like Bubba Chuck, in the situation that he was in, elevated to a different level, but you keep reaching back for people who ain't in your corner, like they in your corner, but they ain't rooting for you.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so therefore you got to understand sometimes cutting losses, and people are going to frown upon that, but go ahead and frown upon it, because therefore I can still be alive and well and be able to be a help than to try to fit in and get this camaraderie from people who are never going to understand the plight in which you have reached and what you're trying to do to help a community.
Right.
So cut them niggas off. Point blank. That's it.
Right. And you know, right.
You ain't gonna eat at my table.
Hell
Right.
no.
I'll send Uber to feed you. Uber Eats now, baby.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes you gotta let it go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And I always say this, I've gotten to a certain age in my life where I really, if you're not relevant in my life, you're not relevant. Like, your thoughts are your thoughts. Like, I'm not living to change your thought or perception of me. Like, I have more years behind me than I have in front of me. It's just, I'm not going to live to be 110. That's not going to, I don't want to live.
Shit, I'm trying to get there,
I'm
dog.
not, listen, I don't want anybody putting applesauce and Depends on me. I just, like, let me go before I get there. But my point is, I only want people around me and in my circle who want to be there.
Right.
If you don't want to be there, trust and believe I will keep you afar. Believe that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Haters
I realized a few years ago I got to stop apologizing for who God made me to be.
Yes, ma'am.
I got to stop apologizing for the decisions that I've been able to make that has put me in a different situation, in a better position, not only for me, but for my family. And so because of that, I understand, hey, I got to move forward. And everybody can't go with you.
No, they
Not at
can't.
all.
And listen, I'd love to say happy to disappoint you. Like, if you thought I was going to be burnt out in jail, whatever it is that you thought I was going to be, I'm glad to disappoint you. I sat in those classes. I deployed my ass all over this planet. I've worked hard. I don't care if you don't like me. That's your business. Go home and be big or little mad. Put a cape on and be super mad. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
If I don't know you, like, yeah, keep it moving. And that's friend and or family.
Dog,
I won't even say.
Hit him with the Charlie Tuna joint. Sorry, Charlie.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Exactly.
People are loyal to you.
Chicken of the sea, baby. You still
Exactly.
hate.
People are loyal to you sometimes for what they can get from you. And
That's right.
once they can't get anything from you, then to them you're worthless. But as I posted earlier today, sometimes your crowd and your group of friends decreases in size only to increase in value. So, we look at all those things now and we understand it. When we were younger and the elders told us that, we looked at them like they were nuts. But now it makes sense as we have become parents and, in my case, grandparents. And, you you look at all of those things and you say, now I understand the baton that was passed to me, and it's my job to
Absolutely.
raise what comes after me up, so that when that time comes, I can pass that baton to them, and that knowledge will never just dissipate and disappear.
Right. And I said,
Absolutely.
and I'll leave it at this. Like, for me, I'll literally give you the shirt off my back, literally, to anyone. But you actually got trained for this one. But the T-shirt you can have, you know that, LB.
I know that.
But like you're saying, sometimes that it's addition by subtraction, as we say.
Yes, sir.
And it's life.
Uh-huh.
And if you're 50 years old plus, hey, let's say, 45 cuss 47, but if you 50 plus and you still looking for social acceptance, something is horribly wrong. At the end of 50 is 60. Are you kidding
It's
me?
over.
Right.
Like it's done.
Right. Like,
Roll
It
the
ain't gonna
credits.
happen.
right.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna, I say, it just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
like
I'm
me
just
growing
gonna
my
go ahead
hair
and
back,
let
it
you
just ain't
know.
gonna
It
happen.
just ain't
Yeah, the
gonna
revolution
happen.
will not be televised. You
Right.
didn't make it, baby. You didn't
Right.
make it.
And I don't get it. I swear, I look at some 50 plus. I'm like, listen, it's okay. Like, live your last 25 to 30 years for you. Like, the cool lunch table's not coming back.
Not at all. In fact,
So-
you're serving
Right.
the meals now with your old ass.
Leroy Otis, potatoes.
Ain't
right?
nobody think about you, Otis.
All right, but listen, is it
Yeah,
Miss Monica?
exactly.
Is that
so
a?
I, wanted to call in with
Okay.
something that was on the subject.
Yeah.
Didn't want to talk about the Iran thing and didn't want to talk about Siberia.
Yeah.
Just wanted to let you know I am with you when you said the Final Four. It's good to see somebody new up in that thing. So we're gonna go ahead and do what it do. I hope Virginia take it all the way, baby.
Listen, I was gonna
yeah.
ask you that who your pick is for the Final Four. I'm going with Michigan State, but I know you still good people. So,
Yeah,
All right.
anybody connected to Geronimo, Mr. Get Out Your Feelings, they up there.
all right,
There it is.
Take
Love you,
care.
cuz.
Yes, y'all have a good one.
All right,
Gentlemen,
man.
y'all are doing a wonderful job. Keep doing it.
Appreciate
Representing
you.
us well.
All right,
All right.
bye bye.
All right, bye-bye.
But yeah, that's funny. She said Siberia. That's the truth. Dude got kind of tongue tied when I was like, "Well, I've been to Russia." He was like, "Oh no, Iran."
No, Iran, dog. You don't understand.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right. I'm just like, man, but no, that was a good point, man. But
Right.
again, getting back to Nipsey, they said that strip that he had, he was like, I don't know, a couple stores away from owning that entire thing, and he was
did.
such right.
I think he did own.
Did he own
ended
it?
up owning
Right.
He owned the own thing.
He was such a powerful young man when you could, because life is a cycle, and you look for powerful voices. Like for us in our generation, those voices, Public Enemy,
Yeah.
right? You had, and I know I'm gonna catch some people off guard, like King's Son, back in the day. Who else?
X-Clan.
X-Clan. He was his voice of his generation in that regard, and he didn't take anything for granted or lightly, and he had that I don't know what we call in the military, that earned authority, that earned respect. People in his neighborhood looked at him and said, "Hey, we want to support you," but then we go back to the Judas argument, and sometimes you just want to say, let a seed grow into a tree,
Right.
and that was a tree that was going to bear a lot
They took
of
a good
fruit.
one.
Yeah.
They took a good one. But what I wanted to say, I'll get back to the article. But what I wanted to say, according to the story as I read it, I think I don't necessarily know if the guy that shot him was in his circle, but he was a fellow Crip, from what I understand, according to the story. They also said that he was a known snitch, which is something I wanted to focus on, because you have to ask yourself, what is a snitch? Why are they snitch? Why are they labeled snitch? What do you do to fall in the category of being a snitch? But the one thing that really saddens me is that, here's, like you said, here's a young man that, his work ethic preceded him more so than even his music.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
He, owned his own masters. You know, his whole business ethic, his whole, you know, his business model was something that, you know, I hope others look at and take it as a template. And, you know, because he was pretty much self-sufficient, but he was very unique, and he had an interesting upper hand, so to speak, because his father was from East Africa. I forget the country, but in the region near and around Ethiopia and Rwanda, in that area somewhere. And he actually had an opportunity to go there when he was 18 years old. So he was able to kind of go outside of, you know, his bubble and see the world. But his father, you know, also he had a different concept of just ethnicity, of blackness, of different ethnicities, because his father was from there. But, you know, again, I think that he should have taken precaution. I think that he took the hood for granted, and I think that he may have been a little naive in not having people around him. Why they weren't gripped up, I don't know. I mean, it is Crenshaw. It is, I mean, you are in a high crime area, regardless of who you are. So to that extent, I'm really like, wow, how, you know. And then from what I heard, the young man caught feelings because he told him, look, we don't want you around here. You a snitch, and it's not good for you to be around here. The guy leaves, and he comes back, and he does what he does. Do I think that there's a conspiracy behind it? If I were a betting man, I wouldn't bet on it.
Right.
Now, having said that, you know, I don't want us, you know, because it is like what was said, Geronimo said, everything is not conspiracy. On the flip side of that, everything that happens ain't necessarily the way it looks either. And what I was going to say is that Dr. King, they're going to have, or they had, some type of a presentation of his photographer that followed him around and took pictures. And he was having a display. But it came out, this is kind of old news, it came out, he was an FBI informant. I spoke on this before, and this is a known fact. And the guy is still alive.
Yep.
That was giving Malcolm mouth to mouth. He was an informant. And you know, I mean, so, you know, it's not. And here's the thing: conspiracy doesn't necessarily have to be super duper cloak and dagger.
Right.
Conspiracy can simply be some nigga you running with in the street, and he gets accosted by the police and says, "Hey, look, man, give us something.
Right.
Who you running with? You know, go back in there. We'll cut some time off, see what we could do, but you need to bring us back something." Right. That's a conspiracy. That's government conspiracy. It's not necessarily.
It's legal
from them looking out of Hubbles in space and all. It doesn't even have to be that serious. So my point is that I wish Nipsey was a little more cognizant of who he had around, you know, in terms of his surroundings. And I hope that people in his position, who are people of importance, quote unquote, will take this as a learned lesson. And like the sister said, sometimes you got to feed people with the from afar, with the long handle spoon, and you know you can't be as accessible as you would like to be, because there are people, and unfortunately our people are so turned inside out that we're brainwashed, and we feel that if you have something that you worked hard for and I like it, instead of working hard for it or finding out how you got it, I'm going to take it. And if I have to take your life, then I'm going to do that. Right. And so I think, what do I think? I think jealousy had a lot to do with Nipsey Hussle being there. I think dude was in his feelings because he said, get from around here because you a snitch. You know, now, how he's moving about in California, like in gangland as a known snitch.
Well, he's in protective custody now because he's in fear for his life.
But I'm talking about before he did what he did. If he's a known snitch, You know, so
He probably didn't move much.
Yeah,
He stayed in a couple of safe places.
Yeah. So
You know,
that-
speculating, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm
You had
interested
to.
in, I'm interested to hear about the young lady. She claims she didn't know what was going on. She was the driver.
She's a liar. She gotta be. You hear gunshots and you don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
She
Either
claims-
you're slow
So I want to know.
or
what
you're
her deal
deaf.
is.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, as they say,
Yeah. Yeah, she turned herself in.
I'm
She
pretty
knew they
sure.
was going.
Yeah,
They was
because
gonna lock
you
her
know.
ass up.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, this young man, his death warrant is unless they keep him in super protective custody and make him go away somewhere. There's no way he can go on population.
Unfortunately,
gonna
anywhere
die.
in a prison, anybody can
Yeah,
be,
can be touched.
There you
They
go.
can be touched.
Yeah, because think about
He's
some of
gonna
the
die.
high
He's-
profile people who, you know, then you read, you're like,
Dog,
oh, well,
they-
damn, he was in jail 2 days. He
Yeah.
Don't
dead.
they murder
Right.
Jeffrey Dahmer in that?
Yeah, like that. And that was savage.
Yeah, he's
but
gonna
he
die.
deserved that. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, with that. But you're right. When you know, you can't kid yourself. And when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Like, you know, you out in these streets, don't kid yourself and think it can't happen. And you have to be willing
Everybody
to
can be
take it.
touched,
Yeah,
man.
to take
Yeah.
it to that level. You know, it's if it's as we say, if it's me or you, it's you.
Well,
With
what's that one note says? I will kidnap you, raise you, then return you to your family so they can bury you. Sincerely, the streets.
The streets. Yeah,
Right.
it's true.
And think about, because it's been going through Facebook, they show the two like gazelles, I believe they are, and they're fighting
Yeah, I got
against
that
each
on my
other.
mind. Yeah,
Right.
they don't even see
Right.
the lion coming, right?
And they're so caught up in this battle. This. I mean, when you really slow that down and look at the clash like of wills, the sheer determination to dominate the same species there, that they're unaware of the true monster that
Sure.
approaches.
Yeah, yeah.
And the end of that
Right.
resulted.
But
in-
listen,
in
here
death, yeah.
everybody played the character. They were the onlookers, right?
Right.
But when they saw the danger, they just
Yeah,
tipped
they
out. They
was
didn't even
like,
let
yo,
the other ones know.
right.
They just
No,
scattered.
I
And,
gotta
and,
go.
then, and then even the one that was locked horns,
Right.
he got a glimpse in rain.
Well, it was like,
but yeah, man, it's we got to start. You know, we gotta really
Start thinking.
We got to start thinking. We got to start looking out for people who are very important to us, and protecting them and making sure that
right.
that
Right.
because there's that young man should not have gotten that close to do what he did. He shoots, he leaves, he shoots, he leaves, he shoots, then he kicks all of them, then he leaves. How does that, so
Yeah.
terrible,
Right.
terrible. Rest in peace, Nipsey
And
Hussle.
somebody said this. When's enough vigils and candlelights and prayers and gonna come through? And not like, I don't want to give the perception that I'm questioning religion. That's not it.
Right.
The counter to it is like, when is the action to the thought going to set roots? In other words, collectively, if everyone's praying for this to stop, then those collective voices should begin to facilitate those changes, because this cycle is not going to stop. Like, and I had this discussion earlier this week. Like, you can go in other neighborhoods, and I'm down by Philly, and you always see those shootings in those neighborhoods, but they're always a given neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's always a given neighborhood. Just like up here, like, you're not seeing that in like Edison, right? When was the last time you heard about a shooting in Edison? All right.
Nope.
All right, Scotch Plains. What about Westville? Right.
Doesn't
That's
happen.
right. It doesn't. It's
Doesn't happen.
us.
Right.
Right. And
Exactly.
it troubles me because as I move through my life through my lenses at this age, you would hope that the work that was put in the mid to late 60s, the movements,
Yeah, that's
the
all
voices,
but gone, man.
right? Even through the like mid 80s, you would hope that would bear fruit, but it seems like we're taking a turn for the worse even more. And then you have folks who are in power who are in their own way authorizing a given thought on a
Right.
people And so you have the enemy from within and without, but we're the ones who are bearing the weight of that.
Yeah, and we gotta, the thing is, I mean, listen, it's no secret. We got a lot of cleaning the house to do, and the only way that you're gonna do that is you have to change the mind. Somebody put up a question, and he posed a very good question about, the Nipsey Hussle thing and the conspiracy. And he said, basically he said, if it is a conspiracy, what are we going to do about it? And I think that's a fair question. It's a profound question. It's a good question. I think one of the things you can do, I think there's many answers to it, but you have to give information. I think part of the problem with our people and why we see a lot of murders and, not a lot of, put it this way. Like I said before, I'm going to be very careful with this whole black on black thing because it's not just authentic to us, but because, we care about us. This is what we know best. So we're talking about us. A lot of our people are lost, man. They are lost. And,
True.
and some people, unfortunately, have drew a line in the sand and they have made up their minds that this is how they're going to live. And personally, I'm to a point, I feel that you give people a chance to choose and you give them options, opposed to whatever it is they're chasing out there. If it's criminal activity, you try to fill that void, with education, with skill sets, with opportunity, with good pay. But it's the choice. Once we can provide those things, they have to make the decision. Now, if they have made the decision that I'm just going to live this street life, then
You reap what you sow.
then my question is, what do we do then?
Right.
And you can't allow a whole people to go to waste because a few said that
And that's where
I'm going to be
think
this cancer.
if that's what you want to be, I got to leave you right where you are. You weren't meant to take this ride. Now, if you decide to change, I'll come back and get you. But I cannot wait for you to come with me because that means I have to stand in place until you make up your mind. There's too much stuff going on.
And how much damage do you do
Right.
while you trying to make your mind up?
Right. So now I'm waiting and I'm watching you
Yeah.
do your thing. Meanwhile, there are things that others are moved on. I have to move with the like minds. I can't stay and wait for you. And I think part of that is a fault of our generation. We've done that. We've waited. We've waited. We're still waiting. And individuals are telling you, this is me for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, we just hope that they'll change.
Yeah.
They already told you they weren't. So now, don't wish nothing bad on you. Don't want nothing bad to happen to you, but I gotta go.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a serious thing, man.
Yeah.
Right. And we could be here till 3 years from now still talking about this, but at least we're putting a voice to it, and
Right.
actions versus words. So, like I said, I always try and uplift where I can. And matter of fact, like I'm gonna be the keynote speaker in 2 events coming up. One in May and then one in June. And one's gonna be. I can't wait to get to the one in June more. So they're both good audiences, but like I'm really gonna load the guns for June 8th for this, and I think I'm gonna be speaking down in Camden.
Okay.
As well for like a third.
Same school?
No.
Okay.
Different venue, but it's to bring that to the table to just say, hey, everybody can be a tough guy. Okay, I got it, man. And I think we've mastered the tough guy. All right. So
and tough for no reason.
Right.
That's the thing. You know
Right.
what? I mean, even in our day.
right.
Wait, hold up. I'm gonna take it even further back. I mean, it's kind of comical, but you remember Cooley High? Remember the party scene?
Yeah.
Remember the party scene? And remember basketball player Coach Heese, and
Coach Heese.
he was pushing up. He cuffed this young lady, and they're dancing. And then this guy named Damon walks in and just comes in, just grilling, just ice grilling
Angry
for no
for
reason.
no reason, right?
Like, how do you get dressed up, put on your smell goods,
Right.
go to the club to ice grill other dudes?
Right, me mug, as we call it,
Like,
me mug.
yeah,
Right.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, just mean
That's when
for
your
no
insides
reason,
rotten,
man.
dog. Like the old people say, your insides rotten.
Yeah. So I mean, but I just say all of that because, again, man, as far as us being lost, you know, one of the things that I think has been taken from us, and I think there's been just seeds of seeds that were planted of discord among us in terms of we feel that we have to be threatened by each other. But yet other folks can walk in, you know, no
And they show
threat,
them love. Yeah.
no harm.
Yeah.
This young white boy on YouTube videotaping himself. He said, "Hey, I'm in the Crip territory," and I'm gonna put this joke on hold for a second. Hold on 1 second, all right? Thank you for calling. Hang on 1 second. And he said, "I'm about to walk through this neighborhood," and he's walking through and, you know, being goofy and silly. No one said anything to him. Now, if that were me or you, and we just, you know, minding our business, it might be something else.
Right.
Now, I charge the responsibility mostly and the onus on us. Yeah. On us. I do. But I will always make a stand that there is a hidden element that feeds that. Now, I think we ourselves can break from it. And that's where we need to start smacking ourselves in the face and wake up. But I do feel that there are always agent provocateurs, always. And so we have to be knowledgeable of that. And I hope this Nipsey Hussle thing, I really do. I hope
It's a wake-up
all the
call,
gangs,
bro.
Bloods, Crips, and just brothers in the street, I hope that they unify, that they close ranks, and that they carry the banner on what this young brother was doing. And they become entrepreneurs. You know? So yeah, that's. I'll leave it
well,
like
let me tell you. And coming here, I won't get into the full context. We're good, and that's because of that.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say, and we grabbed a quick bite, and I'll just put it in this context. You know, an older gentleman, he was from Johannesburg, came out and he said, "Good to see you representing us." He just wanted to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Keep doing whatever it is you're doing."
Mm-hmm.
Then there was another young man that went up to him and said, "Hey," along the same lines, he's like, "Hey, you know, good to see you guys in the context that you are."
Mm-hmm.
And then we pulled up right in front of the studio, and another young man walked past
Walking
and
to
said,
the bushes, dog.
right, almost walked in the bushes. He said, "I see it, and keep doing the thing." And mine is to, as we say, lift as we climb.
That's right.
And
We got to do.
you know,
It's the only way we survive, man.
right. That's why I say put those people in your circle who need to be there. If you have any, angst against me, animosity, you can best believe I'm gonna put you way in the corner, and I'm gonna wish you the best in life. But you can best believe I'll never reach out to you. You don't have to reach out to me. You can call yourself this, and I'll call myself that, and we'll all be happy. But listen, who's gonna listen? Can we get a shout out to Miss E? She's not here.
Yes.
She had to
Shout out to Miss C.
Miss E. We miss you, Miss E. I see your work on LinkedIn. She be doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm super proud of her. But it's time to wrap up the show. The callers that called in, it's that time for the Let's Talk About It cast to say goodnight. But we're 2 weeks from now. I'm not sure what day.
It's the 18th.
The
bro.
18th. Man, already.
Yeah.
Yeah, time waits for no man. The
Yeah.
18th, tune in again for another fun-filled, action-packed show, and hopefully the whole crew will be here. We got the super producer back. Can we
Actually,
get some-
I won't.
Yeah. You
I'll
won't
be
be
away
here?
for Passover, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. We'll shout you out.
right.
I always shout you out. You shouted me out last week. I had to work last
Easter
go around.
Thursday.
good,
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
But listen, love my castmates. Any last words? Gene Geronimo,
As I always say, man, you know what? When you walk out your front door, it's showtime and the world is your stage. Just make sure the people are not watching the rehearsal. So have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy next week. We see you when we get back.
All right.
All right. Hey, listen, coming up soon, after I come back from Passover, we will be collecting at 1518 West 3rd Street Third Tabernacle Bethel. We're gonna start collecting bread.
What day is
and,
that? I'm
handing
sorry.
out.
What day was that? I'm sorry.
Well, the 18th I'll be
All right.
away.
Okay.
But after that, I'll be gone for about a little over a week.
All right.
So when we come back,
Right. Make sure you reach out to me. That's
okay.
because I missed it last year. Remember that?
Yeah,
so I want to
yeah.
be there this
so
year.
we're gonna be handing out. We want to start getting in the habit of handing out food. We're gonna start with bread, and we're also gonna start. I'm just putting this out there, but we're gonna start our little garden. We're gonna start growing some food. And so we'll put out more details. Anybody who wants to get involved and help us out with that. All right, and that's all I have.
All right, I'm gonna leave the closing remarks with my my castmates here. I was just glad to be back in the seat here. I'm actually out on business this weekend, but everybody enjoy your next 2 weeks. You know, we seen all the love that we got on the Facebook.
Yeah. Shout out to
there.
the guy that called in with 2-3 different voices.
Right, we appreciate him.
The
and all that.
ventriloquist. We appreciate you.
Right, as always, big up to the super producer. Big up to Storm Norm, the CEO.
Storm Norm.
He
Walking
walks
in
in
right
on-
now.
right
Storm
on
Norman,
cue.
And
gentlemen.
on time.
Right there. And remember, shout out. No, I'm just I was getting ready. Shout out to a loiter in the building. Right? Anybody hookah? Who else we got? But as always, if there's something you want to talk about, call in and let's talk about it. It's a
Indeed.
wrap, folks.
No. Go back here. Because you still got it running.